What's up, bro? Doug here. Welcome back. And welcome for the first time if you never met me. My name is Doug. You can see here, these are my stats. Software engineer. I love video games. I'm definitely a business geek. 30 years old. I have a family and 2 kids. I own a house. I make 6 figures, not from my business, from my full-time job as a software engineer. And I've spent over $75,000 in learning how to build businesses. This is me trying to sell a website to somebody, a random local business owner that had a horrible website. So I'm making this video because right now with AI and the way things are going, there's never been, and I can confidently say there's never been an easier time for you to get in and start a business, start an online business, sell a product, a service, a digital product, start that coaching community, start that YouTube channel. There's never been an easier time to make products. And as someone who has been, I'll say trying, like, and I mean trying because I haven't been doing, I've been trying. So I've hasn't been trying to build a business, and we'll get into how much I've made so far of after 5 years of trying to do this online thing. But I can confidently say that making money online and learning, having the skills to build something online has never been easier. Okay. Yeah, you might feel like it's saturated. If you're new, this is for you. If you haven't reached that hump yet, if you're where I'm at, this is for you. I'm just taking everything that I've learned so far, all my failures, and I'm going to give it to you in this video. And hopefully it helps you start in the right direction because it's November 10th currently. We only have what, a month and some change before the end of the year, before the start of the new year. So I really want you guys to kick off 2026 wherever you're at. And if you're a beginner, I really want you to start on the right foot. So I'm making these videos for you. I'm making these videos for my kids. I'm making these videos for anybody that wants to start an online business, but it's daunting, right? This is something I wish I would have had when I got started. Obviously, I'm not where everybody wants to be, where I even want to be, right? I want to be off of my job or doing maybe part-time because I love software. Software is my passion. That's something I can do till I'm gray, right? But I want to own more time, own more of my freedom. And that's why I started getting into business. With that being said, I am going to go over my top 3 lessons learned from trying to build an online business. And I wouldn't say it's a failure, but however long it took me to make the money that I made, it could have been much faster if I had known these things from the beginning. And this is stuff that people talk about here and there, but nobody talks about in depth unless they're trying to sell you something. I have a business. I'll tell you what I sell when we get into it, but I'm really making this purely to educate you and to get you on the right foot. If you're watching this, you're not my customer. So breathe. You're not at the level yet to where I can offer my services to you. So I just want you to take this, and all the content I'm making forward is going to be to help you do it on your own. The only reason that you will buy from me is to get there faster. But I'm going to tell you why that's not always the best option, and we'll go through it. This is my very first website. It's still up. You can find it. Bling by Gigi. I'll put it here. It's still up. You can go there, blingbygigi.com. This is the very first website. This is my mom's hairstylist. She had a business back when I was in college. I had just gotten out of college. I was building websites for nonprofits as a part of an assignment for a class. I decided I wanted to build websites to make money online. So told my mom about it. My mom gave me my very first client. I think I charged her like $150 for this. And at that time, I was really scared to charge that. But that's what I did. And this is what I made, right? Mind you, I made this without having my own website, right? This is just word of mouth. Keep that in mind for later. So this is my very first website. You can do this, okay? If I can build 1 or 2 websites and then tell people, hey, I'm building websites now. I want to start a business building websites. And then my immediate circle gives me customers or referrals. You can do that, okay? This is something you can most definitely do and charge for it. Competence breeds confidence. So the more competence you have, the more confidence you have in selling. So the more times I built websites, the more confident I was that I could solve that problem. That's the first thing I did. And this was back in 2020. So now I own Busy Geek. I'm like a tech help. I do build sales funnels. I do build automations. I do use AI in my business. I basically handle all the tech stuff so you don't have to. That's what I like to say. And this came from actually this client. This client was asking me, hey, how do I get customers? That's what dug me into the deep hole of business and marketing and getting me to where I am today. But it also came with a lot of lessons that we're going to talk about. So from this one client, I started a business. Okay. 5 years later, 5 years and 6 months to be accurate, because it's November. 5 years later, I've made a total of $7,497.95. This is a screenshot of my Stripe. Obviously, without the extra information, this is Zelle and this is Apple Pay. So it took me 5 years to make $7,500. And the point I'm trying to make is you can get there fast or you can get here slow. And I'm making this video to help my past self 5 years ago make $7,500 in a matter of months, because it's a lot of belief. I know you guys hear a lot of mental stuff. It's a lot of belief when it comes to building a business. And then, like I said, competence breeds confidence. And the only way you get competence is by doing the thing over and over and over again until you know you can solve that problem. If you know how to drive and someone needs you to deliver food, that's why DoorDash, or that's why Uber, Lyft, these things are businesses that people feel very confident in doing because they have so much competence in driving, right? So if you're not confident, then you're not going to charge the correct amount. If you know you can solve a problem, you're going to charge appropriately for that. If you know the outcome of that, you're going to charge appropriately for that. If you don't have the confidence because you don't have the competence, you're not going to be able to charge appropriately, but more importantly, you're not going to be able to deliver the value that someone needs. And the value, you delivering value and making that transformation, is how people get paid a lot. And it's how people are able to confidently charge prices and target people that are their ideal audience. So I can go more detail to that in another video. But how to do this in a third, a fifth, a half, whatever you want to call it. How would I train someone or teach someone to do this a lot faster, right? And we're going to go over those 3 main things I told you about at the beginning of the video. These are the 3 things that I would focus on, that I'm going to educate you on to get you to understand, that will set you up to not make the same mistake that I did. Okay. Number 1, where's my mouse, is the Dunning-Kruger effect. And on the right here, I have all my courses that I've ever bought. On the right, let me open my tools here. Let's go here. I'm going to draw a little bit because I want to draw. On the right here, oops, I have all the courses, right? These are all my courses that I made, that I bought. Over $75,000, $85,000 at this point, because some of them aren't even on here. Some of these are 2, 3, 4, 5 courses. Some stuff I bought that I couldn't even use yet. I just thought it would give me a head faster, which is why I need to talk to you guys about paying to get implementation faster. But let's go over this Dunning-Kruger effect. So, online business, you probably bought a course. If you haven't bought a course, don't buy a course yet. Watch this first. But we have the start. So we have your confidence and we have your competence. That's what I was telling you before. And we have this peak of Mount Stupid. I don't really agree with the idea of peak of Mount Stupid per se. I would change this word out for ignorance. Ignorance just means you don't know. Not that you're dumb. It just means that stupid means you don't have the capacity to learn, in my opinion. This just means you don't know. Peak of Mount Ignorance, whatever you want to call it. So what this is, you see an advertisement online saying you can make $10,000 in a month, or you can start an online business, et cetera, et cetera. This is what's called a new opportunity. And you're like, oh, that is awesome. That is amazing. I want that, right? Now, why it's peak of Mount Stupid or peak of ignorance is because you think that this is the easiest way to make money and that this is completely doable. So then you try it, right? You get in, you buy the offer or you buy the course, and you start to understand you're here, you're up, You're up, right? I want the weight to back. And then you start saying, oh, wait, I don't have a domain. Oh, wait, I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't know this. I don't know that. I don't know this. I don't know that. I don't know this. I don't know that. So you hit this bottom, which is called the Valley of Despair, where it's not what it was supposed to be. You are struggling. You don't know what's going on. You thought it would be this, but it's not that. There's a lot more to it. There's more money that you need to invest. There's more skills that you don't have. They didn't tell you that this is going to take this long. They didn't tell you that you needed to have this stuff in place before you started this program. There's a whole bunch of things and you just get stuck. You feel stuck. You're like, this is not for me. This is not going to work. I'm out. Then most people will go back. They'll go back up here and they'll find another shiny object, or they'll find another opportunity. So this is my light bulb, right? Terrible light bulb. But they'll find another opportunity. They'll be excited again, back at the peak of ignorance, and then they'll hit the same wall, come back down, and they'll just stay in this loop. They'll stay here. They'll stay in this loop forever. They will start an opportunity. They will figure out that it costs way more time, energy, and money than they're willing to spend, or they need something that they didn't know they needed. And then they'll drop that, they'll buy it again. This is what I did for years, okay? I started building websites like I told you. I got into affiliate marketing. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm about to just sell other people's stuff to get customers. Awesome. And then I found out I don't know how to write copy. I don't know how to design. I don't know how to sell. I don't have money for marketing. I wasn't making six figures at the time. I was just starting as my software engineering career. So I was making $70,000 a year. Yeah. I was like, you know what? Affiliate marketing, not for me. I tried drop shipping. I tried retail arbitrage. Drop shipping, I didn't know how to get ungated on Amazon. That was a roadblock for me. I didn't know how to wait. They said it would take a long time, and I'd have to pay money to get access to those type of suppliers. Drop that. Retail arbitrage. I didn't want to go into thrift stores and scan things all day. That didn't seem fun to me. Dropped it. Another affiliate marketing offer with Google Ads. I didn't understand the ad platform, and he said we need to charge $250 a day. I didn't have $250 a day to do for marketing. Drop that. Starting my own digital marketing agency, I was paying $5,000 for the whole year. Didn't have money for marketing. Didn't even know if people wanted websites or if I could sell websites, because all the cold calls I had done with local business owners didn't go well. So my confidence wasn't there. Dropped that. So I was in this continuous circle, right, of despair, ignorance, and what have you. But what happened was I found funnels. And what really excited me about funnels is that it had solved all the problems that I was talking about. It was a system, not necessarily what people think it is, like the software, right? And I just kept absorbing. Funny enough, I kept absorbing all these courses, learning how everybody was doing anything, just to come up with the conclusion that everybody was doing the exact same thing. And we'll get back more into that later, because that's another one of the points. But going back to the Dunning-Kruger effect, let's say I did pick one. Let's say I was still just building websites, right? Because I still build websites, but there's also a whole bunch of other backend services and offer setups anyway. So let's just go back here and erase all this. I'm just going to remove this. I'm going to get rid of this. And so the natural way and how all the other gurus made their money. And why can't I change the color? What am I here? Oh, I'm on the eraser. This is the difference between you and them, right? Or the 99 and the 1, okay? I'm going to use red for this. So they start here, right? Yeah. So they start here. They pick an opportunity. They've done the same thing we have, by the way. They go through all these ideas. That's why they say the average business owner starts the ideas in 5 years. 5 years, takes them 5 years to start their business. So they start this. They go here. They realize it's hard, but they stick with the plan. They realize it's hard, but they stick with the plan. They realize it's hard, but guess what? They stick with the plan. Eventually, they fail here. They figure out what not to do, they continue. They figure out what not to do, they continue. They fail. They keep failing, but eventually they can't fail anymore because they've solved all the problems that they need to be successful. And that's when they start climbing out. And they get slow success, slow, and then they hit this stability part, right? So the slope of enlightenment is when you solve every single problem that you could possibly have, and then you just execute until it works, and then it starts working. And then you get to this plateau of sustainability, and that's when you have to go through, you start here. I would argue that after you hit the first level, let's say that's level one, you do this all over again, and you go to level 2, 3, 4, depending on how high you want to go, right? Because there's different stages of your business that you can scale it from side hustle to entrepreneur. And I like to use side hustle, bought your job, solopreneur, and then side hustle, entrepreneur, side hustle, solopreneur, and then solopreneur with a team, and then entrepreneur. That's how I like to come up with the levels. But that's essentially what happens. So the problem that you have, so point number one, just to wrap this up, you are at this spot where you're going to go into a new opportunity. You're going to see potential opportunities. You're going to want to try new things, and you're going to hit this valley of despair, and you're going to want to give up. And a lot of that has to do with what type of entrepreneur you are. If you want to sell digital products, sell services, a lot of times your first business isn't your main business, but I've seen all businesses work. Okay. As long as they follow the funnel system we're going to talk about, I've seen all businesses work. So any type of business model, any type of way to sell services, digital products online or in person, all of them have worked. If you can find people that are doing it, that are actually doing it, keyword actually, not just selling the opportunity. So you see a lot of people sell opportunities like, hey, this is what I did. You can do this too. Not that, but you actually see them day to day actually doing the thing and making the money off of whatever practice they're talking about, not just selling a course, giving an opportunity to learn. Like it'd be different if I was selling a course on how to make money building websites and I just gave you what I do, but you never actually saw me sell a website or actually make money off of my websites in my own business. So I tell you, focus on mentors that actually help you by doing the thing. So they actually do the thing. You see them do it day to day. They're going through their process and how they actually close customers. But you're going to get a lot of opportunities. And I got a lot of opportunities. So what I want you to focus on is pick one thing and just be the best student at that one thing. Don't think that this is the end of making money. So if you can't buy it twice, don't get it, right? If you can't buy it 3 times, don't get it, right? If you're trying to buy something thinking you're going to make the money in 30 days and you're a complete beginner with no skills, don't get it, okay? You're not ready. I'm just telling you now. I'm not being mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm trying to protect you from making a mistake, because what you're going to find out is that somebody selling you one of these courses on how to make money. Let's take the affiliate marketing one, because I really like affiliate marketing. If you're trying to be an affiliate marketer, but you never sold anything, you don't know how to make content, you don't know how to run ads, you don't know how to market, you don't know how to make graphics, you don't know what type of ideal avatar would actually like this type of product, you don't know where they hang out, you don't know where to find them for free, you don't know where to go for traffic, and then convert that traffic into leads and the leads into customers, then don't buy the course. Right now, you have YouTube, which a lot of content creators and a lot of business people, a lot of gurus are putting out free content to educate you on all this stuff. Mine included. This is to help you. So take that first. Understand the game. Understand what it is. Save up the money for the course. I'm still in credit card debt, right? I'm still getting calls from debt collectors, right? That I'm trying to catch up on, that I'm talking to, trying to actually set up payment plans, but it's painful. And I didn't have to do that if I had just not went above my means to try and make money really fast. Funny enough, if I had just gone slow in the 5 years that we're talking about right now, it probably would have been 10 times, 100 times the effect, because I would have done it the right way. So don't buy anything out of your means. This is going to happen to you. Stick with it and you'll make progress. I always like to think, if you are going to buy a course, at least get to the point to where it pays for itself. And then you can move on to the next thing. But the easiest way to start is with the skill that you already have, or learn a skill and sell that skill. Trading your time for money, that's the one advantage you have over all the gurus, right? If you're a small person and you're just starting, for me, example, websites, I went up against agencies and won because it was me doing all the work. They can call me, they can contact me. I was always on it. I just had a customer the other day that had a problem with their funnel. I immediately got off work, ran over here, and I didn't get off work. Actually, I immediately worked lunch break, opened my computer, fixed it in the hours that I got the email. That's something that I can do because it's just me and I want the business. I'm hungry for the business. Okay. Sorry, that was very long-winded, but let's move on. So number 2 is Chet Holmes, very talented. He has a book called The Sales Marketing Machine. And I learned about this not from his book, although I think it is in the book, but this is very important for getting customers. That's like the number one problem most people have, is getting customers. Side note, books are your friend, okay? I told you not to buy a course, but most of your gurus have books. Buy books, please, because you can buy books. You can buy 2 or 3 times the price of a book, right? That's well within your range. If you have a normal job, a salary of $40,000, you can buy a book. If you have a salary less than that, you can still buy a book. Books give you the knowledge of why and what, but not how, is where courses or the YouTube videos where you figure it out. If you don't have the money, you can figure it out. If you want to buy that course, but you don't have the money, but you have the knowledge, talk to some people that are doing it, right? There are people that are at your level that you can network with that are just starting, that would love to help somebody who's just starting out, to show them the ropes, to help them out. Or become an entrepreneur, which is someone who works at a company to do the job that they want to do as a full-time entrepreneur. For example, if I wanted to switch gears and move towards a marketing company to learn marketing, so I can start my own marketing company or my own email marketing company, that's an entrepreneur. But books are the shortcut. Full stop. Full stop. Your favorite guru has a book on what they did, how they did it, where they came from. It opens your mind and you start understanding what to look for. And we're going to talk about the biggest game changer after these that you can apply right now to help you start learning some of these skills. But let's talk about this. Chet Holmes Buyers Pyramid. So when you're doing digital marketing, when you're trying to get customers, you have the 3 things. You have traffic. What I think? Oh, yes. Nope, it's still moving this. Come on. There you go. You have traffic, you have leads, and you have customers, okay? Traffic is like a watering hole, okay? That's a local spot. That's what this is, okay? Leads are people who show interest. So we'll talk about it. So traffic is this entire pyramid, okay? This, wherever they are. Leads is it would be about, I would say, actually they have to show interest. So on Chet's one, I'd say it's this whole part. And then actual, like, the ready to buy is this top part, right? And then you have, so that's the green, that's the yellow, and that's the red. Okay, that's how I would organize it. And then you have older audience, we'll call this purple. And then we have the people who know they're not interested right now. Call this the blue. Okay, that's how I would rate this, right? So what does this mean? Traffic is anywhere there's customers. Think mall, think a Facebook group, think YouTube, think any social media platform. It's a gathering of people, okay? That's traffic. So if anytime you hear somebody saying, I need traffic, they don't know what they're talking about. Traffic is everywhere. So you don't have a traffic problem, all right? You have a lead and a customer problem. Leads are people who are traffic that are interested in what you have to buy. I'll make it a bigger in-depth training on this because I like to use Bath and Body Works as a great example to explain how this whole system works, as well as funnels. But today, just know that leads are people who show interest. Okay. People who show interest in what you have to sell. Leads are not traffic, okay? Leads are not traffic. Traffic everywhere. Leads, Alex Murray says, is people who you can contact as well, who give you their contact information. And then you have customers, obviously people who have bought from you before. Going into the pyramid, 3% of people are ready to buy now. What does that mean? That means they're already thinking about it. They're actually actively looking for solutions. And if you put it in front of them and it's a great offer, they're going to buy. The good thing is that's 3%, not 1%, not 0.5%, that's 3%. 6 to 7% of people will open it. So out of the 6 to 7 people, I like to think that 3% of the people are ready to buy now. 6 to 7% of people open it because they're interested. But if the price is too high, don't need that much. These are a lot of people, right? You've probably been this person yourself where you're like, oh, that would be awesome. And then the guy drops a $5,000 ticket price on you and you're like, I'm good, I'm out. Or you ever go into a free fitness program and then they say, but you got to put $100 down to start. Well, don't want it. That's the 6 to 7%. Now, 30% are not thinking about it. These are people who get targeted by ads or people who come across YouTube. And you ever went down like a YouTube rabbit hole? You weren't even thinking about whatever topic you're talking about, but the thumbnail caught your attention and now you're 40 minutes in watching someone build a house. That's the people that are not thinking about it, okay? 30% of people who don't think they're interested, these are people who have a problem, but they haven't revealed it to themselves. That's a problem, all right? The Snuggie is a great commercial. If you ever watched the Snuggie commercial, you probably know what I'm talking about. But Snuggie was famous because it introduced a product that nobody knew that they wanted. And that's something that if you watch the Snuggie commercial the first time, you're probably not paying attention. You're in the 30% who don't think they're interested. After you watch it the 7th time, you start thinking about it a little bit more. You're like, they make some good points. And then you try and go online to find solutions. You can't find it. We'll go over the Snuggie commercial in another video as well. Because you guys are giving me so many good video ideas just from this one long training. We're 30 minutes in. All right, 30%, no, they're not interested. These are people who are just not in your target demographic. Or they might not be right now. And I say that because they could jump in for a different reason. Example, Bath & Body Works, again, not my cup of tea. But my lady loves Bath & Body Works. So I'm not interested in Bath & Body Works. Actually, you know what? That might still fit into 30%. Don't think they're interested. So 30% know they're interested means it's completely off your demographic. These are people you're never gonna convert. You're never gonna talk to. They're just not it. Okay. I had to learn this because in selling and getting customers, I was wondering why I couldn't get my ideal avatar. For you, if you don't know, ideal avatar is just the best customer that you could help the best and sell, and they would easily say yes. And it's easy for you to help them get a result. I had to learn this from hours and thousands of dollars spent on trying to get customers. And I solved that by reading Chet Holmes's book. Like even after all the $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000 courses I had, all the success, all the testimonials that these gurus had, all the strategies that they gave me, it really didn't click until I learned this. Okay. And the whole role of the game is to get people from don't think they're interested or even not interested to buying. That's the whole game. And the fact that most people aren't buying, even though it feels like everybody's buying, it feels like these gurus are getting all these customers. It looks like they're just rolling in money and it's easier for them to get customers. When in reality, all we're seeing is the 3% part of the machine. We're not seeing the retargeting. We're not seeing the millions that they spent and did make money on. We're not seeing them spend on all these different ad creatives. We're not seeing all the content that they have to make before they even get a customer. We're not seeing any of that. All we're seeing is the 3% because we see it in real time where we're sitting. Like you've probably seen something online where you see, oh, so-and-so just bought, like it's a little notification that pops up, so-and-so just bought. Like we're not seeing that. Or we are seeing that. We're not seeing the big machine and how many hours does it take. I remember I was starting in insurance because I sold insurance at one time before too, and they had me make my Dream 100. And it's 100 people that you have to reach out to or talk to see if they'd be interested in buying insurance or some life protection or things of that nature, financial planning. And I was like 100 people, but I realized like out of the 100 people that I talked to or reached out to, one, I didn't want to do it. But when I did start doing it, I only got about 3% of them. Like about 3% of them were actually looking, listening, and interested. a lot of them actually weren't interested at all. So I just say that to say that when you're talking about getting customers, when you're talking about bringing traffic, think of this, right? And this is going to lead into the final point I want to make in this video, this training, which is the funnel. Now, funnel is an acronym for me. Okay. It's something that I just use as an amalgamation of all of things. And I'm pulling up my notes here so I don't lead you wrong. And we're going to go through this acronym today. So a lot of people think of a funnel as ClickFunnels, as some type of like web page follow thing where you get the free thing and then you buy the core thing and then you have an upsell, you have a downsell, you have another upsell, you know, thank you page, continuity. If these all sound foreign, don't worry about it. We'll get to it in other videos. But essentially, if you've ever bought something online from Instagram, let's say, then you probably have gone through a funnel before where they offered you an offer and then they continue to offer you offers until you kept saying no. And then you finally got whatever they delivered. Or you have something free and then they start to email you constantly. And this is the concept that I spent a lot of money on. I spent so much money trying to learn this concept because everybody's using a funnel. And a funnel stands for flow of traffic, understand the ideal avatar, nurture them, nudge them forward, empower them to make the decision that they already want to make, or empower them to push forward despite their inhibitions or doubt, and then lead them to success. So you help them make the transformation. A funnel is not a set of web pages that magically give you things. Again, talking about Alex Hormozi, he came out with a book called Money Models. Money Models is a great example of a funnel. Money models are just a sequence of the customer journey to get them to the desired result. And there's multiple different money models. There's multiple funnels. There's various funnels for various things. Not all of them are online. In the next video, I keep talking about it, but the next video, I'm going to show you Bath and Body Works' funnel, how they do this, right? But let's dive deep, not deep into this, but let's just touch the surface and then I got to go. So funnels, flow of traffic. You want to be where the traffic is. So think of malls, think of Facebook groups, like we said, on YouTube, on social media. Anybody who has an offer is somewhere online where there is traffic, okay? So that's number one. So you want to pick somewhere where there is traffic. When you're starting a business, when you're online, right? Where your ideal customer is. So that comes to the next part, understanding your ideal avatar. An ideal avatar is someone who you've helped. For me, that is my past self, okay? That is Doug 5 years ago, just starting, wanting to get into this game. What would I teach him to learn everything that I know for free and get to where it took me 5 years to have him do it in 5 weeks, let's say. Understanding your customer. Every single business out here, McDonald's, any type of a large business has an ideal avatar. They have the user that they're targeting, and a lot of people fit into that mold. So, give you an example. So, side note, some beginners always have this problem when they say, everybody's my customer. I help everybody with my photos. I help everybody with my hairstyles. I help everybody with my, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You help a specific avatar. Give an example for me. For me, 9 times out of 10, it's one or two people. It's either the complete beginner that doesn't know what they're doing, but wants help and is not good with the tech stuff. I sell them tech stuff, templates, prompts, all that stuff, right? To help them with the knowledge gap. Or it's someone who's over 40 that hates tech stuff, but it has been doing their craft for a long time and wants to start making money online. So these are typically coaches, some type of service provider, things of that nature, where they're already selling in front of people. They already are good at most of their business comes from word of mouth. They just haven't figured out the online part and they hate tech stuff. So those are my two avatars. Most people fit in one of those two categories, right? Or most people would just fit into the one, which is someone who doesn't like to do tech stuff. So if I had to narrow it down to one avatar, it really would be just someone who doesn't like to do tech stuff, that they have an idea, they don't know how to implement it, they know how to sell, or they're very passionate about what they're talking about so they can sell their thing. They just don't have any of the tech support set up. Or they do have the tech support set up, it's not great, it has a lot of holes, and they really need some support to get the machine to where they need it so that it can actually propel them forward. That's my ideal customer. So First, you pick somewhere where there's traffic. So let's just pick, for me, for Busy Geek, that's YouTube. So YouTube. Then you understand the customer. They have tech problems. So guess what I make? I make tech content and tutorial videos. That's what I make. So understand the customer. I make content to attract that customer. But I also go into groups. So it's not even just YouTube. So we'll put Facebook here too. Facebook groups, we'll do communities. I just put C for communities. These are my traffic. That's my traffic. Understand my avatar. They watch this type of content. They watch this. They're in Facebook communities trying to figure out how to build funnels, how to build an online system, how to do those things. I'm there talking to them. They're in private communities of gurus, of courses that I bought. So I bought courses from gurus that sell low ticket offers. It's usually a bunch of people in there that need help implementing what the coach is talking about. And I offer to help them implement it. That's understanding the avatar. Nurture them. So nurture them is I give them info or the what and the why. Okay. So this comes in the form of conversation, in the form of talking. Oh, I don't know how to get a domain. Oh, easily. You go on this website, you click here, your domain is available, and you buy it. How do I connect it to my website? Oh, that's easy. You set up the DNS records and the A record to point it to your website, and boom, your website is connected. How do I do that? This is the end, right? So after they say how, so they have a question mark of how, what happens after that? I nudge them forward. Oh, I can help you, which is usually a Zoom call or a phone call, right? And I help them. Here's the kicker for free. Because it's a small problem. So any type of small problem is usually my end to do the next thing. So I nudge them forward. So once they ask for how, I help them with a Zoom call, a phone call, and it's typically for free. This is what I call, or what everybody, you're going to hear Alex Hormozi, all the gurus really talk about this, but Alex Hormozi is probably one of the biggest ones, where he says lead magnet. And a lead magnet is you solving a small problem for someone for free or for very low ticket, so that you build what's called the know and trust factor. And that's the whole point of this funnel. So this whole funnel equals the know and trust factor. And we'll get it. I'll make some more content on that. But let's see, where are we at? Oh, 40. Okay, so I want to make this under an hour. The know and trust, that's the whole point of a funnel. All business, really. If you can trust someone, then you'll buy from them. The reason why the hairstylist from my mom did business with me without me even having a website is because the hairstylist know, liked, and trust my mom. So when my mom referred me, I adopted that know and trust factor. And then I use that to make the sale. Right? You understand what I'm saying? The people that you like to buy from, you only buy from them because you trust them. You know them from their content. You like them because you keep watching their content, you subscribe, you've interacted with them a couple of times. Maybe you've got a lead magnet from them, they help you solve a problem. You trust them because they help you get a result, or they enlighten you to an idea, or they make you feel good. You implemented something and you got a good result from it. That's the trust factor. So when they do the next part of the funnel, which is to empower you to make a decision. So this is the empowerment. I'm just going to do some flames. When they empower you, right, to decide to pick left or right. Left is you buy my thing, or right is you buy my thing. Left is you don't buy my thing, depending on what the offer is for you. So the next part of the funnel is to empower them. So after, let's say I help them set up their domain, right? I'm like, hey, here's everything else. I go back this way. I go back here to say, hey, here's everything else. Would you like me to do this? And at this point, they have some type of know, like, trust factor. And then I go through the objections like, hey, I've helped coaches like you before. Here's my testimonials. We're in a group together. This is the result that I got from that. Or I've already built a ton of these. This is how it works. Or here's a problem that people run into. You need to work on this, not on this. I can help you work on this while you work on this in parallel. Let's work together. It's very simple. So I help them with any inhibitions that they have. So they might say, oh, I can't do that. That's why I do it. Oh, it's too much money. Payment plan. How long is it going to take? Depends on how long it takes for you to give me the things that I need to get. What is the success rate of you doing this? I've already built a ton of these systems before. So it's not a matter of if you're going to get one, it's how fast you're going to get one because I know what I'm doing. Right. So you help them. But this stage is very important because sometimes they won't fit. Some people that I've talked to that wanted a funnel didn't have an offer, didn't have an avatar, didn't have the first part we talked about, which is a traffic source. They weren't on anything, any platform. They were just doing stuff for fun. So they weren't a good fit. So this is where I empowered them to not do that and to do something else. Because I'm not here to have you put up your house or have you go into debt to pay me. That's not what I'm here for. And people who are operating in scarcity often can't get the result that they want because their mindset is limited. So if that's how the way that they're operating, they're not a good client because they're not going to get the result because they already have doubt and have faith that it's not going to work. I hope that makes sense. So after I empower them, it's time to lead them to success. This is where I come in. I deliver my expertise, I help them get the result, and I push it forward. Now, a lot of the times we won't be done. We'll just move forward. We'll come back around here with a completely new offer. Give you an example. A customer, one of my recent customers came to me for a funnel. They weren't ready for a funnel. She wanted to sell her book though. It was a husband and wife pair. They wanted to sell their book and they wanted a funnel for the book. I was like, okay, she's a coach. I went on her website, non-existent. Like the website was like a header, a picture, a short excerpt, but no way to buy the book. I was like, wait. Now, these people were older, right? Older. They have already invested in themselves because they were in the same community that I was in. So I found them in the community. They're already in community. They're already doing business. So they checked all the boxes for the avatar. When I saw their website, I really knew they were my avatar because the website wasn't done. Couldn't even contact them. It was all messed up. I went into their high level account. They had 1,000 pages on there that weren't complete, that weren't finished. They were just frustrated and they really wanted someone to help them build this out. So I helped them. I was like, listen, you don't need a funnel. So this is the empowerment. This is the empowerment part where I was like, listen, you don't need to buy a funnel from me. My funnels are $2,000, $3,000. You don't need a funnel. You need to fix your website first. So did that opportunity go to waste? Absolutely not, because I empowered them to make a different decision than what they came to me for. They said, okay, Doug, how much to build the website? And I helped them with the website. Now their funnel looks like this. Their funnel is content, which is on YouTube. So you already saw this. So their funnel is going to be content on YouTube and by word of mouth, which I didn't talk about much. I want to get into that, but I can't get into that right now. This is a megaphone. Don't judge me. Content on YouTube and word of mouth. That's going to go to their actual lead magnet, which I helped them create. So we'll do a magnet because they understand the customer. So we'll do a little magnet, right? And then that magnet goes to email content to build that. And then that has a CTA, which is the nudge forward, which goes to a VSL, and that VSL helps them actually lead. Now, this is a funnel. We have traffic, understand the avatar, which is a small problem that she can help them fix, which in this case is a lead magnet. Understand the avatar for me, small problem that I help them fix is my tech expertise in helping them build out their tech so without having the knowledge of building it out. They can focus on their expertise. I can do the good things I'm at. Nurture them, which in my case for groups, I give valuable information. I follow up with them. I help them for free. And that's what builds the factor. In her case, it's going to be emails that give stories, excerpts, testimonials, case studies, all that stuff. Nudge, which is in her case, is a CTA inside the email of whatever win she has or when she ever wants to make an offer. She encourages them to either buy the book, group coaching, buy a masterclass, which is one of her courses, etc., and then empower them by giving them some type of video training or more words or testimonials, money back guarantee, things of that nature, to show them that people like them can help them. For me, that was showing my expertise, my experience, what I've done, how I've done those things, and then you deliver the result, which is the lead them to success. Okay. So for her, that's one-on-ones. That's them feeling better. For me, that's me actually building the system that I said I could build. Okay. So hopefully that helps. To recap in this hour, number one, actually number one, buy books, but number 1.5, this is what's going to happen to you whenever you learn a new thing. This happens across when you try to learn a bike, when you try to learn a sport. You start off not knowing all the skills that you need. For example, let's just take riding a bike. You don't know that you need to have coordination. You don't know that you need to have balance. You don't know that you need to have momentum. You don't know that you get over the fear of moving fast and falling. These are stuff that you encounter when you're up here, right? But guess what you do? Keep trying. You fail. You fail. You fail. It's hard. It feels impossible. It feels impossible. But then you go down a ramp and you go without falling. And then you pedal without falling. Now you're moving fast without falling. You go over a speed bump without falling. And now you know how to ride a bike. Okay. This happens everywhere. So if you have already gone through this, if you know how to ride a bike, if you know how to walk, if you finished, graduated school, if you've passed a class, if you passed a test, if you've done anything and overcome it, you've done this. So this means you can do business online as a beginner right now. Don't care how old you are. You can do this. Okay. That's number one. Number two, understand that when you're getting customers, a lot of people are not ready to buy yet. So you need to find a way to turn traffic into leads and leads into customers. Traffic into leads is through content, social media, upgrading that know and trust factor. And the only way you upgrade know, like, and trust factor, think of your friends. Like you sold your friends on being your friend. They know you, they like you, they trust you, they're your friend. How did you make friends? If I was trying to be your friend, what would I do? We probably meet somewhere where we have the same interests. Let's say Level Up Expo, let's say Anime Expo, let's say a gaming conference, let's say a business conference, let's say at work, stuff like that. You're probably somewhere in a common space where you guys have both interests or have to be, right? Then you strike up a conversation, find out they like what you like. Oh, they're awesome. You find out they like to eat the places that you like to eat at. You ask them something simple. Hey, just text me about that movie you saw. And they text you, they do what they said they're going to do. That they trust you now. Okay, this guy's reliable. Hey, I got a flat tire real quick. I know I haven't talked to you in a while, but are you in the area? Or, hey, I had this party come over. They actually come over, building the trust factor. At that point, they're a friend. I hope they're a friend by the time you invite them, but they're a friend. So the same thing here. A lot of gurus are going to show you ads. Those advertisers are going to give you a freebie. That freebie is going to turn you into a lead because it's supposed to deliver some type of value that you didn't know you wanted, or didn't know you were interested in, but the result is what you were interested in. So you bought it, you got in. That's the know factor. Now you know about them, who they are. Content amplifies that. Right? Traffic amplifies that. Any type of social media that you put online amplifies that. So make content, right? If you want to get leads, you're going to have to put in the work to make content so people know who you are. Billie Jean always says the amount of money that you make is proportionate to the amount of people that you ask to buy. You can ask people to buy based on your content. So think of every content piece as an ad. Not that you're trying to get them to sell something, but the fact that you are making content to build the know and trust factor, and then in a couple pieces of content, you're going to ask. The one piece of content can ask thousands of people based on the person that's watching, the number of people that's watching it. So 1,000 views, you asked 1,000 times with one piece of content. Okay. Very huge. So when you do cold calls, that's you directly asking, but that's a very low know and trust factor. When you're doing emails, you're also asking. Still, know and trust factor needs to be built up. Okay. Once that person has enough know and trust factor to make a decision, then they become a customer. But don't give up on the first time. Remember, you make a lot of content. All the content creators make a ton of content before they even get a customer or even get a subscriber. So don't think that you're going to get a customer off of the first contact. I had a financial guy message me 3 times. On average, takes 7 times. The reason why I know I'm not interested, one, I already have his services through another financial service provider, but 2 is because he didn't open any type of value, right? It was a referral, but it wasn't. I'm gonna show you guys the referral the right way later, but it was a referral. But I also know I'm not interested. I'm in 30%. If he had started off with something that, if he had asked my friend about, hey, do you have 3 people who can refer me. Do you know what they're interested in? And they would have definitely said, oh, Doug, he has a marketing business or digital agency business he's trying to start, or he has a solopreneur business that he's doing, or he has Busy Geek, that's his business where he sells marketing services. Then he would have better gauged what my interests are to then follow up with, hey, I got your information from your friend. He told me about your business. I very much would love to talk about your business and how we could work together. Or you could say, hey, my company just came out with something actually for business ownership for you to help you protect your business. Would you be interested in sitting down and talking about it for 30 seconds? How's, and then he gives me the dates that he has. For me, I'd be like, I've never heard that before. I'm interested in that. So I just wanted to let that be known that there are ways for you to turn traffic into leads, but you have to know more about them. You have to know what makes them tick. That's the ideal avatar part. So this part is very important. You're going to run into the wall of how to get customers. We're going to talk about that in detail later. And then the last part is the funnel system, which we just talked about. You have some sort of content source, right? Some sort of content source. You have a magnet to get them to start interacting with you, and you know they're the right fit for your business. You start nurturing them. You nudge them to make a decision, take action, invite them to do business with you, and then you empower their decision when you talk to them, whether that be your content or whether that be a VSL, whether that be you talking to them personally through a sales call or even just a consultation, and then you lead them to success once they pick a decision. If they qualify from this part all the way up to this part, you lead them to success. If you know they're not going to qualify and actually implement and do what you say to do, then they just drop off. And you can tweak this better to better filter out the people that are tire kickers or people who aren't going to actually help you with your service. So I hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Doug. Always remember to learn more, do more, be more. Thanks.